Let's speak to the the spokesperson of Johannesburg Emergency Services, Robert Mulaudzi, especially about what's happening in Johannesburg. As you heard there from the Tlhogonolo, part of the disruptive rains to be expected can cause localized flooding. Robert, what is the preparedness of the Johannesburg Emergency Services should any resources be mobilized?
Thank you very much, and good evening to the viewers. Yes, we received a warning from the South African Weather Service for severe thunderstorms in most parts of the city of Johannesburg, which might cause flash floods in most of our low-lying areas. You will know that most of our areas, which is mostly our informal settlements, are mostly the ones who are vulnerable to flash floods when we have severe thunderstorms. So we already have our monitoring teams in all 7 regions of the city. So far, with the rainfall which we just received an hour ago, so we have not yet reported any major incidents. However, we've got our monitoring teams in all 7 regions of the city, and also all our fire stations are fully operational. We also have our specialized unit which responds to water-related emergencies, which is our aquatic rescue unit, which is on high alert. So we will be monitoring overnight because we are told that we will be receiving a lot of rainfalls overnight. So we are pleading with our motorists, as we have witnessed last Thursday. Motorists do not adhere to our calls of not crossing flooded roads or flooded bridges. We still see them trying to take a chance to cross flooded areas. So we're pleading with them to avoid areas. So those key officials, if the road is barricaded, please use alternative routes. We will be communicating any latest development or update regarding the weather overnight. So let's work together so that we can prevent further incidents which might occur overnight.
Yeah. Are there any specific areas in the greater Johannesburg region that you think might be most vulnerable?
Yes, mostly our targeted area will be most of our informal settlements, which we know most of our informal settlements are alongside our river streams. It can be Cape Valley, Jackson, and Galfontein. So most of those residents are residing along the river streams. They are also tempted to cross river streams as and when they are conducting their daily activity. So we're pleading with them to avoid crossing river streams so that we can prevent incidents where people might be swept away while they're trying to cross those areas. So far, our monitoring teams have not yet reported any major incidents which might have occurred in the last 2 hours or so. So we're hoping that the situation will remain the same overnight due to all the contingency plans which we have within the City of Johannesburg Emergency Management Services.
Yeah, the extreme northern part of the greater Johannesburg region, such as Midrand, are most susceptible to flooding, given that they are typically low-lying areas if you look at the topography of Johannesburg. Importantly here, is there any traffic contingencies that's being made in such areas?
Yes, I think motorists need to also be mindful of that bridge along Vodkopen Road. In 4 ways. Most of the time when we have rainfall, it normally floods, and most of the motorists normally undermine like the water levels in that area. We also have an area in Soweto along Cape Valley which normally floods. Motorists are mostly aware of that area when we have a lot of rainfall. So those are some of the highlighted areas which our motorists need to be aware. But as soon as there's an area where maybe motorists have to avoid it, I think my colleague from JMPD will be able to update our motorists out there as to what are the other alternative routes which they can use. But so far, so good. We don't have any disruptions in terms of traffic, and also major incidents which have been reported. So we're hoping that our residents will work with us, you know, because disaster management is everybody's business.
Yeah.
So working together, we can be able to prevent some of these incidents which might.
Yeah, and just lastly here, has there been any collaborative conversations with City Power as well as Eskom in the Greater Johannesburg region for potential power outages that can make circumstances and conditions a lot more difficult?
Yeah, the city of Johannesburg is the city that does not sleep, so most of our stakeholders, City Power, Joburg Water, JNPD, we normally work together. As and when we have incidents where we have to work to collaborate, we normally respond together. So we shouldn't have a situation where if there are disruptions, we should be able to activate other stakeholders so that we can be able to manage whatever incident which might occur overnight.
Yeah. Robert, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Robert Mulaudzi is the spokesperson for Johannesburg Emergency Services.